Charles Dickens is the literary giant who gave voice to the marginalized and exposed the dark underbelly of Victorian England with unflinching honesty. His life was a testament to the power of perseverance as he rose from poverty to become one of the most beloved writers of his time, leaving an indelible mark on the literary world with works like Oliver Twist and David Copperfield. Dickens' story is one of courage, conviction, and the unyielding pursuit of justice, and it's a story that will stop you dead in your tracks and make you wonder what it means to be human. Dickens' early life was a battleground, where the harsh realities of poverty and hardship forged his unyielding spirit. Born in Portsmouth, England, in 1812, he was the second of 8 children to John and Elizabeth Dickens. His father, a clerk in the Navy Pay Office, struggled to make ends meet, and the family's financial situation was precarious at best. I think of it like trying to navigate a treacherous river. You've got to be ready for the currents to shift at any moment. When Dickens was just 10 years old, his father was imprisoned for debt, leaving the family to fend for themselves. This experience would later influence his writing, particularly in novels like Little Dorrit and David Copperfield, where he explores the complexities of poverty, class, and social justice. It's like the old masters used to say, you can't write about the depths of human suffering unless you've walked through the fire yourself. Dickens's education was patchy, to say the least. He attended a local school in London, but his family's financial struggles meant he had to work from a young age to support himself. At 12, he started working in a factory, labeling bottles of shoe polish for 6 shillings a week. It was back-breaking work, but it gave him a unique perspective on the lives of the working class, a perspective that would later become a hallmark of his writing. As he grew older, Dickens became increasingly drawn to the world of literature. He devoured books from the local library, teaching himself about history, philosophy, and poetry. It was like trying to catch a fish with your bare hands. You've got to be patient, persistent, and willing to take risks. And it was during this time that he began to develop his writing skills, penning short stories and articles for local magazines. Dickens's big break came when he started working as a journalist, covering politics and social issues for the Morning Chronicle. It was a baptism by fire. He had to think on his feet, write quickly, and tell stories that would capture the attention of a wider audience. And it was here, in the midst of this chaos, that he began to develop his unique voice, a voice that would go on to captivate readers around the world. As Dickens navigated the complexities of his early career, he found himself drawn to the world of theater and performance. He began writing plays and even acted in a few productions, which helped him develop his skills as a storyteller and observer of human nature. It's like learning to track an animal. You've got to pay attention to the smallest details, the way a character moves, the tone of their voice. His experiences as a journalist and playwright eventually led him to write his first novel, The Pickwick Papers. Published in serial form, it was a massive success, and its characters, like the lovable but flawed Samuel Pickwick, became household names. I think of it like trying to start a fire without matches. You've got to have the right materials, the right spark, and a whole lot of patience. Dickens's subsequent novels, such as Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby, solidified his reputation as a master storyteller and social commentator. He had a unique ability to craft characters that were both relatable and flawed, like the Artful Dodger or Miss Havisham, people who embodied the contradictions and complexities of human nature. It's like trying to navigate a dense forest. You've got to be willing to get lost, to take risks, and to trust your instincts. As his career progressed, Dickens became known for his tireless advocacy on behalf of the poor and marginalized. He wrote about the injustices of the workhouse system, the cruelty of child labor, and the struggles of the working class. His writing was like a punch to the gut. It woke people up, made them pay attention, and forced them to confront the harsh realities of their time. Dickens's personal life was also marked by turmoil and struggle. His marriage to Catherine Hogarth was troubled, and they eventually separated. He had a close relationship with his sister-in-law, Georgina, who managed his household and helped raise his children. It's like trying to build a shelter in a storm. You've got to have a strong foundation, a clear head, and a willingness to adapt. Despite the challenges he faced, Dickens continued to write, producing some of his most iconic works, including David Copperfield and Bleak House. These novels showcased his mastery of language, his ability to craft compelling characters, and his unwavering commitment to social justice. It's like trying to catch a glimpse of a wild animal. You've got to be patient, quiet, and willing to wait for the perfect moment. Dickens's experiences as a journalist and playwright had a profound impact on his writing style, allowing him to craft stories that were both entertaining and thought-provoking. His time at the Morning Chronicle in particular gave him a unique perspective on the social issues of his day, from poverty and inequality to crime and corruption. He saw firsthand the effects of the Industrial Revolution on the working class, and this informed much of his writing, including novels like Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby. As he delved deeper into the world of literature, Dickens became acquainted with other notable writers of his time, including William Makepeace Thackeray and the Bronte sisters. These relationships not only influenced his writing, but also provided a sense of community and support in an often competitive literary landscape. For example, his friendship with Thackeray led to a series of lively debates about the role of literature in society, which in turn shaped Dickens's approach to social commentary in his novels. Dickens' major works, such as David Copperfield and Bleak House, showcased his mastery of language and his ability to craft compelling characters. In David Copperfield, for instance, he explored themes of identity, class, and the complexities of human relationships through the eyes of his protagonist, David. This novel is notable not only for its vivid portrayal of Victorian England, but also for its innovative narrative structure, which blends elements of autobiography, social commentary, and fiction. One of the significant themes that emerged in Dickens's work was his critique of the social and economic systems of his time. He was particularly vocal about the mistreatment of the poor, the exploitation of children, and the corruption of the wealthy elite. In Oliver Twist, for example, he exposed the harsh realities of life in a workhouse, where children were forced to live in squalid conditions and survive on meager rations. This novel was a powerful indictment of the social ills of Victorian England and helped to raise public awareness about the need for reform. Dickens's writing style was also notable for its use of vivid imagery, complex characters, and a strong narrative voice. He had a unique ability to bring his characters to life, making them relatable and flawed, like the Artful Dodger or Miss Havisham. His use of descriptive language, such as in his portrayal of the London fog in Bleak House, created a sense of atmosphere and immersion that drew readers into his world. Despite his success, Dickens was not without controversy. Some critics accused him of being overly sentimental, while others saw him as too radical in his social commentary. His personal life was also subject to scrutiny, particularly his troubled marriage and his close relationship with his sister-in-law Georgina. However, these criticisms did not deter Dickens from continuing to write and advocate for the causes he believed in. As Dickens's career progressed, he became increasingly interested in the role of literature in shaping public opinion and influencing social change. He saw himself as a voice for the marginalized and oppressed, using his writing as a platform to raise awareness about the issues of his time. This commitment to social justice is evident in novels like Hard Times, which explores the dehumanizing effects of industrialization on workers, and Little Dorrit, which critiques the corruption and inefficiency of government institutions. Dickens's place in the literary tradition is complex and multifaceted. He was influenced by earlier writers, such as William Hogarth and Henry Fielding, but he also paved the way for later authors, like Thomas Hardy and George Orwell. His innovative use of language, his commitment to social commentary, and his ability to craft compelling characters have made him one of the most beloved and respected writers in English literature. The historical context in which Dickens wrote was marked by significant social, economic, and cultural changes. The Industrial Revolution was transforming the landscape of England, creating new opportunities for wealth and prosperity, but also exacerbating poverty and inequality. The Victorian era was also characterized by a strict social hierarchy, with the wealthy elite holding power and influence over the working class. Dickens's writing reflects this context, offering a nuanced and critical portrayal of the social ills of his time. His words continue to resonate with us today, reminding us that it is a melancholy truth that even great men have their poor relations, and it's in acknowledging and confronting these truths that we may yet find a way to create a more just and compassionate world. Like this episode if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about authors. Subscribe because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.